Hey everyone, my name's Chelsea and I'm a nutrition consultant. Specifically, I help women rebalance their body and their hormones through specialty lab testing and one-on-one consultations. So today I wanted to create this quick video and talk about adrenal fatigue. And the main things I want to talk about is kind of how to know if you might have adrenal fatigue, some signs to look for, and then also 3 main things that I want you to focus on and add into your life if you feel like you do suffer from adrenal fatigue. And really anyone can do these tips. They're all great things that anyone can do. So first I want to talk about exactly what are the signs of adrenal fatigue and how you might know that this is something that you should probably work on healing and take some extra focus and attention on them. So the main signs are dizziness. You might feel dizziness upon standing. You might have low blood pressure, which is a part of the dizziness. Usually if you have low blood pressure, you're going to feel very lightheaded and dizzy. They kind of both work hand in hand. You are more than likely to feel super tired in the morning when you get up, and you won't be able to basically get up right away in the morning without having caffeine. Your cortisol levels are extremely low, which is a hormone that your adrenals produce. Other things might be that you be extremely exhausted and overwhelmed really easily. You might feel more anxious more often, or you might even feel kind of depressed. Just a little bit about me. I recently took a hair tissue mineral analysis test, and that test really gave me some clues and more signs that I definitely have adrenal fatigue, and it really wasn't something I wanted to admit to myself, but it was really the test that helped to open up my eyes and admit, yes, I have pretty bad adrenal fatigue and I needed to focus on it before things got worse. And I've struggled with all these symptoms, especially the feeling of overwhelm and burnout and just feeling like, oh my gosh, one more thing on my to-do plate and I feel like I'm gonna fall apart. And I'm a super laid back person. I don't worry, I don't really stress about much stuff. But I feel like over the last few years, I have worried and stressed a ton more. And maybe that's just part of it being an adult, like a full living, breathing adult. But I think a lot of it has to do with me not taking care of my adrenals, overusing caffeine, and just being dependent on it a lot more than I should be. So that's a little insight to me and my own personal experience. So really the first things that you want to do if this resonates with you, or you feel like you might have adrenal fatigue, or really you can't go wrong with doing these things if you're struggling at all with feeling tired, is number 1, you really want to support your potassium and your sodium levels. So potassium and sodium are super essential to help nourish your adrenals, help regulate fluid balance, and if you don't have enough of them, basically that's going to help push you into more adrenal fatigue, because the adrenals, when they're exhausted, need those minerals in order to support their balance. So what you can do in order to restore potassium is you really want to eat more potassium rich foods. So some of those foods include coconut water. That's great. You can do avocado, you can do sweet potatoes, beet greens are really great. They're packed full of potassium. Celery juice is great because it has both the potassium and the sodium, and those are both essential, like I just mentioned, for healing the adrenals, and why so many people see great results with drinking celery juice, because basically so many people struggle with adrenal fatigue. And also nuts and seeds, so like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, those also have great minerals in them too as well. So I highly recommend food first before you look into supplementation, just because the supplement doesn't absorb into the body the best, and always getting your nutrition from food is the most optimal. So next you want to focus on sodium. So sodium is very easy in my opinion, because basically you just need to get a high quality mineral sea salt, and you can put it in everything. You can add it into your food, you can add it into your water. I recommend doing both. If that sounds kind of gross to you, you can just put it in a small glass of water and just chug it real quick. But that will really help the sodium. It's going to help you stay hydrated more too. So it's really a win-win. So those are the two things I would recommend focusing on nutritionally. There is a lot more you can do, but there's no need to get overwhelmed, and those are the low cost, easy things that you can start focusing on. Next, I really recommend focusing on your stress levels. So there's some reason why you are continually in adrenal fatigue besides just the food or abusing the coffee. More than likely you feel stressed as well, or you're feeling overwhelmed. It could be emotional stress, it can be any kind of stress, work stress. Take a look at your life and see what kind of stress that you're dealing with on a regular basis. What's making you feel overwhelmed? What is your biggest stress point? And also examine your self-care. So maybe you're stressed a lot of the time, or you don't feel super stressed, but you aren't always taking care of yourself. You're not slowing down, you're not giving yourself space to breathe and enjoy life, or an hour to, be off social media, to just relax, read a book, do whatever makes you feel happy, but you're also like refueling and taking care of yourself. Even if it's something fun. For example, I love, working on my business and helping people, but it can be very draining, and sometimes I forget that, and I don't realize that I need to take a break. I need to not be thinking about work and my future goals and whatnot. I need to be focused on basically just doing nothing and giving my brain a break. So I highly recommend just get honest with yourself, and your intuition probably knows what it is. I know for a long time I was resistant to feeling it because I felt like, oh, I'm actually lazy, I'm not getting enough done. Really, my ego is basically telling me all these things. When I sat and I thought about it, was like, no, I'm not lazy. As much as I think sometimes I am, I'm not. So you have to get honest with yourself, listen to your intuition, do some journaling exercises, and the answers will come up for you. So those are the two main things I really recommend focusing on. Last but not least, if you're still really struggling, or you've had adrenal fatigue for years and you're just not getting results, no matter what food, no matter how much you reduce your the stress from your surroundings, the next thing you really want to focus on is how is the rest of your body feeling. You can also develop adrenal fatigue if you have disease, cancer, autoimmune issues, even just gut infections, bacterial overgrowth, leaky gut. And if you want to get rid of leaky gut, you really need to address the adrenal fatigue too. I personally have healed a lot of my leaky gut, but I am still dealing with a few food sensitivities here and there. And I think the biggest reason is that I did not address my adrenal fatigue, and I kind of was like, I don't really have it that bad. And again, I didn't want to admit it. And then I'm thinking, okay, Chelsea, if you don't take care of this adrenal fatigue, you're going to get way more leaky gut. You can develop other, gut issues. You need to focus on your adrenal fatigue. So it's really important to figure out the root cause of what else may be going on in your body that could be causing the adrenal fatigue. So I highly recommend doing a stool test, and that will really help to figure out how your digestion is and what things that we can work to tweak on in your digestion, and really focus on the root cause of why you're exhausted and why you're going to continually stay stuck in adrenal fatigue. So if you're not fixing that, you're more than likely going to be struggling with getting out of adrenal fatigue. So that's basically all I have for you. There's so much more that you can do, but these are the main things I recommend that you focus on. If you're interested in testing or working with someone one-on-one to find the root cause and to get you on the right track, definitely send me a DM. I would love to chat with you and see if I can help you and if we can get you on the right path to feeling so much better. So if you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And that's all I have for you today. Bye.